Hello, my name is Brother Sean. A short video. It's really based on a memory I have when I was used to traveling over to Ireland to run various retreat days or angel healing days up until 2007. And I remember having this conversation with my sister Angela, who was a director of a company to do with hospitality, providing cleaning services for various big hotel chains in Dublin. And one morning I had a free period and I went and sat with Angela in the staff room, and we were having a good old chit chat. And she said, I never employ the A.J.H's. And I said, you never employ the A.J.H's? And she said, yes. And I said, well, when they're at home, who are the A.J.H's? She said, A.J.'s is how are you? It was an abbreviation for those who were more prone to sitting on their backside and doing any work. So when she said, we do not employ the A.J.H's, usually they were the Dubs, the Dubliners, who were very prone to having a good old chinwag, and the work never got done. So Angela said they would rather give the work to non-Irish people, such as the Romanians and the Polish people, because they were hard-working. But it began to make me think, the A.J.H's, the A.J.'s is how we get. How many of us hear the call of God to come back into our heart and listen to what the Spirit of God is saying to us? Are we guilty of being an A.J.H, A.J.'s is how we get, by procrastinating on that simple message? I know that I meet lots of lovely people, and I would say 98% of them are procrastinators who've adopted the NLP route to deciphering God's message. That's the neuro-linguistic programming, when they start asking themselves, Jesus, what's that all about? What's that saying to me? When you receive a message from God in your heart, the first and foremost golden rule is honor it, accept it, embrace it, listen to it, fall in love with it. And when you do, you enter a period of silence, which is the gateway to your soul, which becomes the gateway to God. So being an A.J.H, A.J.'s is how you, wanting to sit on your rear end and procrastinate, won't get you very far in your spiritual journey. Or will it? But the times I reflect on that moment when we were in that hotel, I quietly laugh to myself and I think, wow, if you compare that and bring it into the spiritual journey, we're made up of a whole wonderful group of diverse individuals. But the one thing we have to be very careful of and most discerning about is that we do not play around when the Spirit of God speaks to our heart. Because when we enter that place of silence and we use our gift of free will and say, come Lord Jesus, come speak to my heart. And then you sense an overwhelming joy, an inner peace that's not of this world, but it's a peace nonetheless that captivates your mind and brings it back into your heart. And that's why I love and respect the teachings of the Essenes. And one of the criteria for being a member in our community is to do the Tree of Life course. It's a 7-modular course that brings all this nonsense in the head back into the heart. And you're given a practical tool to use their affirmations, because the Essenes were the founding fathers of psychotherapy. So by using these positive affirmations twice a day for 30 days, they bring you right back to your core. So in conclusion, being an A.J.H, A.J.H is how we doesn't wash in the spiritual path. And I'm reluctant to give you advice, but I would say this from my heart. If you really want to move onwards and upwards in your spiritual journey and take seriously your sacred contract that you engaged with the messengers of God with before you were born, then be wary of the ploys the Antichrist will use to take you off your path. And as night follows day, trust me, you will be singled out as a sitting duck, figuratively speaking. And the one who opposes the light of God in you will find your Achilles heel. And if you are the procrastinator, then you really have a battle on your hands. And you need to bring that into alignment with your higher self. And it means taking responsibility for your journey and not relying on a religious family, a group of individuals, or anyone in authority to dictate to your heart. Find your heart, embrace it, nurture it, love it, support it. And when you come before your God, Goddess, surrender your heart. That is the key. Surrender your heart. And it's a process where you need a light framework, a loving framework, a framework that is detached from the mind and the dramas of everyday life. And if you're willing to give this a go, then you will be employed by the light, because you're not an A.J.H, A.J.'s Howie, where you're wanting to sit on your butt and just procrastinate. I hope this has helped, but I thank you for joining me. Take care. Namaste. Shalom. Inshallah.